Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you a story. One you may have lived yourself. Picture a man battered by failure, his dreams crumbling like ash in his hands. The world has told him no 100 times. His body aches with exhaustion, and the whispers of doubt grow louder with every setback. Yet deep within him, a fire still burns, an unyielding force that refuses to let him surrender. That, my friends, is the essence of true success. The difference between those who achieve greatness and those who merely dream of it is not talent nor luck. It is the decision to keep going when every fiber of your being screams to stop. Think of Thomas Edison, who failed 1,000 times before illuminating the world. Imagine if he had quit at attempt 999. History would have forgotten him, but he understood something most never will. Defeat is not the opposite of success. It is part of it. Every time life knocks you down, you have a choice. Stay on the ground or rise stronger. I once met a man who lost his business, his home, and nearly his family. Yet in that darkness, he made a vow never to let failure define him. Within 5 years, he rebuilt an empire. How? Because he refused to accept defeat as final. Now, let me ask you, what thoughts dominate your mind when adversity strikes? Do you see insurmountable walls or stepping stones? Napoleon Hill once wrote, "Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. But first, you must discipline your mind. Fear will paralyze you if you let it. But first, doubt will strangle your potential if you entertain it. The moment you decide that nothing will deter you from your purpose, you unlock a power few ever experience. Oh, action is the antidote to despair. You may not see progress today or tomorrow, but every step forward, no matter how small, builds momentum. A river cuts through rock not by force, but by persistence. So keep moving. Write that next page. Make that next call. Push through the fatigue. Motion creates emotion. The more you act, the more your confidence grows, and the closer victory becomes. And when you finally stand atop the mountain of your achievement, you'll realize the greatest reward was not the view, but the strength you gained in the climb. You will have forged an unbreakable will, a character that cannot be shaken. That, my friends, is the ultimate victory. So I leave you with this challenge. Force yourself to keep going, not just when it's easy, especially when it's hard. The world needs your grit, your resolve, your unrelenting spirit. Now, go. The next chapter of your success story is waiting to be written. Will you rise and claim it? Let me paint you a picture. Imagine 2 miners, each with a pickaxe, striking at a solid wall of rock in search of gold. They swing with equal strength day after day, yet neither sees a glimmer of treasure. After weeks of grueling labor, one man throws down his pickaxe in frustration and walks away, convinced there's nothing there. The other keeps swinging. One more strike, then another, until finally the wall cracks open, revealing a vein of gold so vast it changes his life forever. Now, here's the truth. That wall breaks for everyone who refuses to stop swinging. History's greatest triumphs were not achieved by the strongest, the smartest, or even the most talented. They were claimed by those who simply outlasted their obstacles. Henry Ford went 5 times before building an automotive empire. Colonel Sanders was rejected over 1,000 times before KFC became a global phenomenon. What separated them from the masses? A relentless persistence, the kind of persistence that doesn't ask, how much longer, but instead declares, as long as it takes. I've seen men and women of ordinary ability achieve extraordinary things because they embraced one unshakable rule. Never stop. Not when the critics laugh, not when the body weakens, not when the world says it can't be done. Because here's the secret, Most people quit one strike too soon. They abandon the dream on the brink of its realization. They turn back at the edge of the breakthrough. Persistence is not just about effort, it's about faith. Faith that every swing of the axe, every step forward, every refusal to surrender is building something invisible yet unstoppable. The universe rewards those who endure. It has no choice. Because while talent opens doors, persistence kicks them down. So I ask you, where in your life have you been swinging the pickaxe only to set it down too soon? The project you abandoned, the dream you shelved, that goal you let slip. What if the gold was just one more strike away? Remember this, the road to success is littered with the bones of those who stopped too early. Don't be one of them. Keep me tell you about a man who lost his job, his savings, and his reputation in the span of a single year. He was broke, humiliated, and utterly alone. Most would have crumbled under the weight of such failure. But this Mimo, years later, when asked how he rebuilt his life into something greater than he had ever imagined, he said, "I stopped seeing failure as the end and started treating it as tuition, the price of my education in success." That man's story is not unique. Every giant of industry, every legend of innovation, every master of their craft has one thing in common. They learn how to turn setbacks into comebacks. Here's the brutal truth. Failure does not discriminate. It will come for you. The question is not if you will face defeat, but what you will do with it when it arrives. Will you let it break you, or will you let it forge you? Think of a blacksmith shaping steel. The metal does not become a sword by genital taps. It must endure the hammer's blows, the searing heat, the relentless pressure. And so it is with you. Every rejection, every closed door, every time life knocks you flat, these are not signs to quit. They are opportunities to transform. I once met a woman who was fired from 3 different companies in 2 years. Instead of letting shame consume her, she analyzed every mistake, every misstep, every blind spot. She turned herself into a student of her own failures. Today, she runs a multi-million-dollar consulting firm. And those same companies now pay her for advice. That is the power of perspective. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is the curriculum. The moment you stop fearing it and start dissecting it, you unlock a level of growth that no easy win could ever provide. So the next time life knocks you down, and it will, remember this, the greatest comebacks in history were built on the bones of disaster. Your defeats are not your downfall. They are your fuel. Now, get up and burn brighter than ever before. Picture a battlefield, not of swords and cannons, but of wills. On one side stands doubt, whispering its poisonous lies. You're not good enough. This will never work. Who do you think you are? On the other stands resolve, silent, steady, unbreakable. Every day this war rages within you, and every day you must choose which army to feed. I knew a young writer whose manuscripts were rejected 47 times. With each rejection letter, doubt grew louder. Maybe you should give up, it hissed. Real writers get published faster than this. But resolve? It spoke differently. It simply said, send it again. On the 48th attempt, a publisher said yes. That book went on to sell millions. This is the power of what Napoleon Hill called definiteness of purpose. Not hope, not wishful thinking, but an ironclad decision. This will be done, no matter what. Oh, the difference between those who achieve greatness and those who watch from the sidelines comes down to one thing, their ability to govern their own mind. Consider this. When a ship loses its rudder, it drifts wherever the current takes it. Your mind works the same way. Left undisciplined, it will drift toward fear, toward comfort, toward surrender. But when you seize control, when you plant your flag and declare, this is my direction, come hell or high water, something remarkable happens. The universe begins rearranging itself to meet your resolve. I want you to try something right now. Think of a goal that matters deeply to you. Now ask yourself, have I been negotiating with myself, making excuses, leaving back doors open in case it gets hard? That stops today. Burn the ships. Shatter the plan B. Adopt what the ancient samurai called the death mindset. Enter every battle as if you've already died, so nothing can shake you. Finally, because here's the truth no one tells you. Motivation is fleeting. Inspiration is unreliable. But resolve? Resolve is unstoppable. The next time doubt comes whispering, and it will, you'll be ready. Not with arguments, not with positive affirmations, but with something far more powerful, the silent, immovable knowing of a mind that has already decided. This will be done. Period. No negotiation. Now, what battlefield within you needs this resolve today? Of course, it's a dangerous myth that freezes more dreams than failure ever. Could the lie that you must feel ready before you begin. Let me destroy that illusion right now. Readiness doesn't precede action. It follows it. I watched a man stand paralyzed at the edge of a diving board for 20 minutes. His muscles trembled. His mind raced through every possible disaster. The longer he waited, the more impossible the leap became. And then something remarkable happened. He stopped thinking. And in that instant between the board and the water, he discovered what all great achievers know. Motion creates the very courage it requires. This is the alchemy of momentum. The first step is always the hardest because it fights against the gravity of inertia. But make no mistake, action is generative. Each movement creates energy for the next. Each small victory builds confidence for greater battles. Consider the locomotive. It consumes enormous energy just to move 1 inch. But once